Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. I'm your host, Sam Adabi, coming to you from the McKees 37 Open House and Detail Expo in Stuart, Florida, with special guests Wayne Carini and Dennis Gay. Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. This is gonna be one awesome car.
And I said, it doesn't even run yet. And look at it now, it's amazing.
What a beautiful example of a 1952 Ford F1. This truck has remained in Denny's family since the day he was born. He bought it from his grandfather back in what, 69, I saw?
68 when I was 16 years old.
That's cool.
I first drove it when I was 14 years old.
Now this truck, you restored it for AACA, which has got to be period correct?
That's correct.
Stock original.
That's correct.
That's very cool. And you did it yourself?
Almost 5 years on it. Did everything except the paint and the machine work on the engine.
And even the paint has the orange peel in it, okay, just so it can be factory correct. If you did too much polishing, it would take away from that, factoriness. Tell me about the Cab Plus.
The 5-star extra cab came with 18 options. The right rear tail light, passenger side sun visor, that was option. The lock on the driver's door, the hood trim, 1952 only. I restore them, I send them all over the world.
That is cool.
I got so involved in these trucks that I started making a part that was non-existent for 53 years.
And tell us about the lock. You said this thing came with a lock, that was an option. How did people lock their cars back in those days?
Back in the day, you parallel park. So you would reach in, shut this door, reach over, pull the handle up, slide over, get out the passenger door, shut the passenger door, and lock the door because Henry didn't want you getting whacked in traffic.
That's cool, because today we only have key locks on one door, which is the driver's side in most cases, and back in those days they had it on the passenger side. What an absolute gorgeous copy of a 37 Ford Roadster. I'm here with Frank. Now Frank, this wasn't always a Roadster, correct?
No, sir.
You cut the top off.
Yes. Probably when I was about 20 years old, I bought a little model kit car. It was a baby stroller.
Yeah.
And I bought it in Daytona about 20 years ago. And when I was finally fortunate enough to afford a real one, I found this at Daytona at the Turkey Rod Run, and we purchased it.
Beautiful. And then you went on from there, huh?
We went on from there. We bought just the rolling chassis with the body. It was a fiberglass car made out of Canada. We put an LS1 Corvette motor in it, custom interior, big wheels and tires. Less is more, just very clean and simple.
You're so right there, less is more, and this is absolutely beautiful. So clean from front to end. What got me this morning is when he pulled in, he'd parked the vehicle and the sun hadn't really come out yet, so it was a little dark, and we could not find the taillights. We had to actually ask Frank where the taillights were. He went inside and turned them on so we could see them. You guys did an awesome job fleshing those in.
Thank you.
Very good. Now tell me how you did that.
Basically, Hagen sells a pair of taillights and they come with a template.
Mm-hmm.
Basically put the template up on the car and trace it out and then cut it with a jigsaw.
And you just had to smoke the lenses and that's what gives it that stealth look.
Exactly. Smoke the lenses and just very clean, subtle, and it just blends in with the car very well.
I couldn't help but notice Ken's Fiero from a distance because I looked at those brakes and I'm thinking, wait a minute, Fiero, big giant brakes, I gotta go check this car out. And Ken showed me the rest of the car, and how impressive is this? You've got a Cadillac Northstar 32 valve engine in the back of this Fiero.
Yes, I do. The reason why I put that in is because all my friends in the neighborhood, had bigger engines in their car, and when I went to car shows, everybody would basically walk by it because it's just a Fiero. And I loved the body design. Back in the 80s, this thing I thought was so far ahead of its time that I loved it,
Absolutely.
And so my friends kept on teasing me, so I said, okay, one day you'll see, I'll put a bigger engine in. And that's what I did.
What year did you do the engine swap?
Back in 2002, so it's about 15 years old. something
cool.
like that.
And where did you get those brakes off of?
Those are actually, I got them from Summit Racing, and they are from a Corvette, a ZR1 Corvette.
Yep.
There are 14s in the front and the regular rear ones, but I also got piston calipers all the way around, so it stops real good now.
What great engineering. He really took his time and did this car right with the extra brakes. That motor in there looks like it's factory fresh. This is cool.
Yeah, I work at GM Engineering. I retired in 2013, and I was on this program along with the mid-engine Corvette. I was early on in the program, but I retired, so I didn't see it through, but wanted to, but I didn't.
Lokar Car Show, presented by Appalachian Backroads. Appalachian Backroads, Virginia is for lovers. Original Parts Group Incorporated, unbeatable quality, price, and in-stock selection for GM restoration and high-performance parts. NH Oil Undercoating Incorporated, NHOU, the official oil-based rust-proofing system. Lokar Performance Products, quality, plain and simple. It's time for the Lokar Lowdown with Kevin Ford.
If you're looking to upgrade the engine in your ride, look no further than our LS Classic series. We've got high-tech, modern LS drivetrains, around 500 horsepower, and we've mimicked all the factory iconic engines like a Tri-Power, the Ford FE, small block Chevys, 409s. We've even gone outside the box and made a little hot rod engine, get you a little different look. We've come and recreated the 63 Fuelie. We've got a 62 Fuelie, and there's so much more to come. We make everything from the front drive units to a distributor kit to the valley plates. We've got breather kits. You really need to check us out if you want a nice, reliable engine that looks right in your car. Go to lokar.com.
I'm here with Vinny, and he brought a beautiful 1940 Packard, the last body style with the external lights. Now, he did most of the restoration himself. This thing is 12 years old. It looks like it was done last year. Very nice job, Vinny.
Thank you.
Now, tell
Thank
me,
you.
this is one of 23 left in the country?
One of 23 of this model car because it has a full back seat into it, whereas some of the older cars only had what they call full-up opera seats. This is the original color combination the car was built with. If you look at this car, it looks exactly the way it came out of the factory.
And he drives this thing cross country. He drives it to the shows.
Yes.
He goes to the West Coast, goes up north. This thing's a driver. And you have to do some special things to it to make it go 75 miles an hour and faster, correct?
Yes, we did. And that's a part of the engine and the automatic transmission, the overdrive transmission that's on it.
Very good.
But if you look at the interior of this car, this is the pleats in the seats, everything is exactly the way it was supposed to be done by Packard.
That is very cool. So the whole car is pretty much original except for you resto modded it just so you can
Correct.
have that good drivability.
Absolutely.
Now, did you do the
Absolutely.
engine swap yourself as well?
No, the engine when I bought it was in this car, and the fellow was hot rodding this car. He cut the rear fenders out, was going to put big tires on it. I wanted to get it back to the original look because when I was 17 years old, I had one of these cars, and I loved that car.
I love this car. He even kept the original paint, the lacquer paint, right here in the middle of the windshield, just so we can see the color match to this. He put some pearl in it. This is a very nice example of a 1940 Packard. What a beautiful 55 Nomad. When you can add every single new school flair to an old school car like this and do it with quality fit and finish. This thing is a 5-year-old restoration. I thought it was just recently done. That's how much quality went into this car. I'm here with Danny. Tell us about what the inspiration was behind this Nomad.
Well, I think as I grew up as a kid, I always loved 55 Nomads, but I didn't want to drive an old school Nomad, so I put together a modern
New school
55 Nomad.
Yeah. He did a great job. I'm loving the interior, the center console going all the way to the back with the split buckets in the rear.
Right.
That is really nice. How much horsepower you got in this?
Factory's 556, and we dyed it at 600 at the rear wheels.
Yeah, so you probably have a 625, 650 kit.
Yes.
Smaller pulley, beautiful job. Underneath the hood, not only is there bling, everything is functional, everything is done right, the bracketry, the wiring, nice. The air filter going down, getting the cold air from the bottom, and he's got the water guard just in case he gets in water, nothing's gonna contaminate that filter. Now the interior, what made you do the bucket seats on the interior?
I think that was just a personal thing. I just think it looks so cool with the
Yeah.
console going all the way through the middle of the car.
Yes, it does.
So we took the front seats out of a Dodge Challenger and cut them down like 6 inches.
Yeah.
And then we built the back seats to match the front seats.
We did a great job incorporating that rear end also with the center console. The back of this car is absolutely beautiful. I want to thank Danny for showing us his 55 Nomad. It's always cool when the wife comes up and says, you know what, Joe? I want a 5-window truck. Let's go ahead and get one of those and restore it. Most of us have to hide our projects from the wife, right?
Right.
That's a cool deal, Pam. Now tell me about this truck. There's a lot of history behind this truck with you guys restoring it yourself at home.
Yes, well, we bought it in a warehouse completely apart in Florida. Her and I put it together enough so we could get it shipped back. And then I told my friends here that they'd be driving it back to Florida. So we really put the pedal down, got it done in 9 months.
And see, Joe and Pam, they're also involved. They have a daughter who's also involved in old school muscle cars. They build these cars and they actually drive them. This one has 11,000 miles on it. They have another one that's got 50,000 miles on it.
Yes.
And that's what it's about, you know, being able to build your passion and enjoy it at the same time, especially with your sidekick, right?
Yes.
Now, tell me about the paint behind this. This is a cool story.
One guy painted the cab and it looked good, and an hour later, we needed to sand the whole thing off. So my other friend said, well, I'll do it because Joe's going on vacation. I can't possibly do any worse. So then Joe came back from vacation early, so we had him do it again, and it came out decent. There was one little thing in the door, but then we all took turns painting the rest.
Well, it looks really good. I'm glad you guys are still friends. You know, that could hurt relationships sometimes.
Well, we were quiet for a while, but we're still friends.
That's all.
So it's finally here, the grand opening of McKees 37.
Well, it's great to have everybody here. We have a great local car community here. We've got a brand new building here. It's great to have you here, Wayne.
It's wonderful to be here and to be in partnership with you and Nick at McKees 37. It really means a lot to me.
Well, some people don't like partnerships, but this is a great partnership, don't you think, Wayne?
I think it's great.
I think we should go out and look at some of those cars.
Let's go.
All right.
I could smell Eric's car coming in. I smelled the ethanol, saw a Hellcat, so I know he's running more timing, more boost, probably close to 1,000 horsepower. This is a beautiful copy of a Challenger Hellcat called the Americat because it is so strong and powerful, right?
Yeah, currently it's making about 950 wheel horsepower, give or take, with a, probably plus or minus 10.
Now this is primarily a street car, but you also drag it, right?
Yeah, it's mainly a street car. I've only been out to the track, to the drag strip a couple times, so it's not full-on drag car yet, but we're getting there. I got a lot of stuff planned for it already. Parts are actually sitting at my house waiting to go in, so.
What kind of upgrades have you done to that?
So currently, I have a 272 upper Hellraiser pulley, which is that clutch pulley. It's a 10% overdrive lower pulley from ATI. It's a bar tensioner, LMI intake, 95 millimeter MMX ported throttle body, stainless work, catless mids, Borla ATAC exhaust. We have DSS drive shaft. Currently have a Demon 309 rear and axle sitting in my house and a whole bunch of BMR rear suspension parts waiting to go in.
Sounds like you have a lot of work ahead of you still.
Yeah.
And it's running HP tuner, so you know it's going to be powerful, reliable, running daily driven computer. I want to thank you for being a U.S. Navy reservist also.
JG, that's correct.
JG, there you go.
In the
So,
SSO program.
thank you so much for showing us your Hellcat.
All right, thank you so much.
Now behind me I have pretty much a street legal race car. McLaren 720S, this is a beautiful car, carbon fiber tub, carbon fiber accents all the way around, some aluminum sheet metal. This is a straight up race car, and Jim actually drives it. He's owned it less than a year, and he's put 9,000 miles on it. That's better than me. I have a Corvette 2.5 years old with only 6,000 miles on it, right? You drive it hard.
Yes, I do. I drive it hard and I put it away wet.
And he said it best. If you want to take a look at the car, just go buy the picture of it. But if you want to drive it, you go buy the car and you actually drive it. Now, you said something about the horsepower rating between America and Europe. Explain that to us.
The model designation is 720S. In Europe, it's rated at 720 horsepower. In the United States, it's rated at 710 horsepower.
Very cool. The spoiler goes up and down. Right now, Jim has it in the up position, standing still. That's for aerodynamics. This car is all about aerodynamics. When you take a look at it all throughout, with the vents going through the doors, the air intakes, the exhaust coming out the middle of the top of the car, straight up race car. I love it. Thank you so much for letting us check it out, Jim.
Thank you.
I'm here with Sam, and behind us we have his beautiful 57 Chevy Sports Coupe. And the best part about this car is his name is Sam, and he's a drag racer, all right? And you can tell he's a drag racer by just taking a look at that shifter, and he's got Speedway Blue on his car.
I've always run Chevys. I love Chevys, and 57s are pretty popular, so
Absolutely.
I've done 2 of them. This is the second one.
That's a nice interior. I love the black accent in there. Now, was that original or is that something you did?
No, it's all custom.
It's all custom,
There's not
absolutely.
much original in the whole car.
Yeah, I like the two-tone leather in it. I love the fact that these old cars didn't have a B-pillar, because when you roll down the windows, it just has that big open gap, nothing to interfere in the middle. It's nice. Now, tell me about the engine. What kind of engine you put in it?
It's called a ZZ383. It's a stroker engine. It's 500 horse.
500 horse.
Yeah. 2 4-barrels, 10-to-1 compression, roller cam, roller rockers. That's what I did for a living, was manufacture racing engines. So.
Yep, he's awesome at that. Now, do you drive this? You take it?
Just to shows.
Just to shows. Do you drive it like cross country or anything like that to a show if there was one?
We pretty much stay within a 100-mile radius.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's cool. I love underneath is so finished off with all the polish. Everything is so nice. We're gonna open the hood and take a look at underneath. And even the horn's got covers on it inside, correct? I noticed the horn over there. The cooler, transmission cooler, he's got an extra one, something that you don't even see often in cars. So this is very cool. Lokar Car Show, presented by Appalachian Backroads. Spearhead Trails, get out and explore. H&M Saw, the saw that cuts straight. Brothers Truck Parts, #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck parts. Stage 8, the world's best locking fasteners.
So I'm Dennis Gage. I do my classic car. This is the 25th year.
How about that, huh?
I have been on TV longer than Gunsmoke. And this is a room that actually understands that reference. I love it. I've also experienced that 5 years ago and kind of watched it grow through AutoGeek to this. And everybody says, oh, you know so much about cars. And I really don't. It's just like a really good memory I learned from everybody. You know, so I never put myself in the position of authority. I am the ultimate enthusiast. I'm glad you guys came on. I'm glad I came down to Indiana.
I'm here with Pastor Sunderworth. He's one of the 6 pastors at Morningside Church, and he's got a beautiful copy of an all-original, all original, and numbers matching.
And numbers matching.
67.
Color's not original, but the everything else is.
That's cool. 67 Ford Fairlane. Now he has a cool story about why he wanted to pick a car and restore it, because he wanted to sit with his wife in a bench seat, couldn't find one, so they decided to do this one, right?
We did. We traveled it. We moved some stuff. We had a bench seat. We loved it so much. We said, let's get a car with a bench seat. All we could find was pickups, and she wouldn't do that. If you saw my wife, you'd know why. So we got us an old car, and we have loved it. And we had a 57 for 10 years, and then we got this. So we're excited.
That's cool. This is an all numbers matching. When you received it, you did have to go through the engine and just freshen that up and make it right.
The gentleman the last motor that he restored, he went to school with me, and he stayed with Ford all his life and did nothing but motors. This was the last motor he did before he retired. So I knew the car, I knew the motor, knew everything, so it's kind of neat.
That's awesome. Now the original top too, is that the original fabric on the top?
That's not the original top, but it's the not the fabric.
Skeleton.
Yes.
That's cool.
Everything in it, except it's just kind of been, spruced up a little.
Yeah, well, you've done a good job. I love the paint. The color looks really good.
Thank you.
The wheels and tires are original. They look awesome. 266,000 miles on this 61 Corvette. Are you kidding me? This is awesome. And the only thing Kathy has done to it since she's owned it is about 24, 25 years ago you had it painted.
Right.
Now tell me a story about the original owner.
The original owner was a lady in Mendenhall, Mississippi. She was a piano teacher, and her dream was to have an MG and an electronic keyboard, and her husband said, no way you're getting a foreign car. So he went down to the Chevy store. This little town doesn't even have a stoplight in it to this day. And he bought the car for her and said, you got to make the payments. So she said it took a lot of papas to make $75 a month payments on this car.
Papas, I love it. That's awesome.
She was a great little Southern lady with the hat and the gloves. We met her in Mississippi. We went down there one time and met her and talked to her because I had written her and said, you know, somebody who loves the car will take care of it because she was very attached to the car.
What year did you acquire it?
We got it in 1993.
93. That is so cool. So I take it with 266,000 miles on it, you probably drive it everywhere, right?
Oh, it goes everywhere. We drive it even to Tampa to go to the NSRA Tampa in April. We'll drive it over there. He drives it up and down the coast.
That is so cool. And there you go, guys. 1961, all original. You want to see a perfect copy of a Corvette? You might want to check out Kathy's ride. I want to thank Bob McKee and the boys here at McKees 37 for inviting us over to their open house and detailing expo. We've learned a lot, we've seen a lot, lots of cool cars, and a lot of cool people to boot that goes with those cars. So make sure to tune in next week when we show you more beautiful cars. Well, that's it here at the McKees 37 Open House and Detail Expo in Stuart, Florida. Stay tuned next week where we will be at the Florida Jeep Jam in Panama City Beach, right here on the Lokar Car Show.